Okay, today we're going to continue with where we left off yesterday regarding the halachas of lighting Shabbos candles. Picked it up, Oz Gimel and the Piskei Chuvas over here. We're talking about over here the Ramah. The Ramah, whose source was actually a Maharil, said that if a woman forgot to light the Shabbos candles, she has to light the rest of her life an additional candle every single week than she is used to lighting. That's what we ended with last time. See if we can get this inside over here. The Rama starts over there. Ha'isha, which means a woman. Then the Rama continues on the next page. She forgot one time to light, she has to light for the rest of her life an additional candle. That's the Maharil. Now, we already learned some exceptions to this, and today will be no exception to learning
Yeah.
about exceptions. We're going to learn even more exceptions today. All right? We already
There's always
discussed why she needs to light another candle. Look at what he says over here. Let's say she lit the candles, however, they extinguished immediately after she lit. Now it's already Shabbos, so she can't light them anymore. Lit right after she said the bracha, she can't now do anything that she's not allowed to do on Shabbos.
we didn't learn how long they're supposed to be lit for.
Oh, we didn't learn about anything yet. We just started. We're not even out of the first sif. Very good, though. So the problem is, it definitely has to be lit for more than 62 seconds over here. So the problem is that it extinguished immediately because either there wasn't enough oil or there was a problem with the wick, or it was, let's say, there was a problem with a wind, an uncommon wind. Notice he says
Mhm.
uncommon. And she didn't pay attention. In other words, it wasn't her fault why it extinguished. She was careful beforehand. She lit it properly. And then it just extinguished. In that case, that's onus. That's considering it an extenuating circumstance, and she would not need to add an additional candle for the rest of her life. That is a very important idea to keep in our back pockets.
But what does she do though?
Fine, because we learned the Mishnah Brura quoted a Magen Avram. Magen Avram we saw inside. We said that if it's due to an extenuating circumstance, then she would not need to light again. This would definitely be no different. In the footnote 32, someone who's sick and they couldn't light because they were so sick, that's included in the category of onus. Someone who had an extenuating circumstance, and therefore, if she missed because she was sick, she would not need to add another candle for the rest of her life.
A woman in a hospital she should just turns on lights or whatever.
No, that's what you're saying now. I mean, we'll have to learn about lights. What type of lights? Incandescent, LED. You're just saying a broad statement, which is inaccurate because there's going to be differences even within electricity. But we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. I mean, we already touched upon that when we learned, what was it, Simon Tuf Reish Ayin Vav, 576, 78, 70, somewhere over there, 77, Tuf Reish Ayin Zayin. We learned the halachas of Ner Chanukah.
Yep.
Right, you remember that?
I don't know.
No one
No.
remembers. We touched upon that in Havdalah. That's
Big time.
not in Chanukah.
Hanukkah also, but I think we did it on Havdalah too.
We didn't have Havdalah.
Yeah, I thought we did it on Shabbos. I thought we did it
Where's
on.
the Chanukah playlist? I thought we did that on Havdalah. What? I thought we did it on Chanukah. Here. Hilchos Chanukah, 10 shiurim. What does it say? Does electricity change the order of Ner Chanukah? Oh, no, that was only the order. Yeah, we did that in Havdalah. Yeah.
Yes, we did Hanukkah.
No, we didn't. We got all Chanukah right here. Not here. Not here. We didn't discuss it here. This is just a hierarchy of what comes first. Havdalah. Okay. All right. Anyways, Now, let's say a woman set an alarm clock to remind her to light, but there was a technological issue and it malfunctioned, didn't work, or she didn't realize, oh, the volume was off. So in that scenario, that's onus.
That's it.
Comes along with
Technical
Shmuel Vosner, the Shevet Halevi yet again. Where's Ari? The
No,
Koi Beis
he's-
and the Beis Levi.
I'm not with him.
And he says that that's onus. She would not need to light an additional candle for the rest of her life.
Under what circumstance? What was this again?
Yeah, alarm clock. She set an alarm clock to remind her to light. It didn't work for some reason. What about traffic? The answer is it depends. If the traffic was completely unexpected, and because of that, she came home too late and now she can't light near Shabbos, or she's not in an area with their Shabbos, that's onus. That's extenuating circumstance. She would not need to add another one for the rest of her life if it was unexpected traffic. If she's coming back in the hustle and bustle of the quintessential New York rush hour nasty traffic on a winter, she's coming back. Shabbos starts, let's say 4:15. She's coming back 3 o'clock. That's when the traffic starts. She's trying to come back 3 o'clock from Lakewood to Rockaway. Nothing doing. You're gonna get yourself in trouble. You go Sunday morning to Lakewood when everyone's sleeping their brains out. It's 8 o'clock. That could take you in maybe an hour, 15, an hour and a half. But nothing doing if you're doing that 3 o'clock during rush hour.
She calls her husband ahead of time and says light for us. That would work, no?
Yeah. If the husband would light, he would cover the house. We're gonna have to see. We're gonna see about that. So if it was expected traffic and she was late, she would have to add another candle the rest of her life. But again, he says over here at the end, in parentheses, Hakol lefi re'us eina hamoira, which in English means it depends on the posek. You know, these situations you have to assess each case individually. You know, once I start finally typing this up, make a list of all of the exceptions. All of the exceptions why you don't need to add another candle if she didn't light. You know, I would assume right now the list is gonna be around at least 10 different exceptions to this. There's so many exceptions.
Mhm.
Right, to write up the list.
So it sounds like practically it doesn't happen.
Well, it could happen if you don't have those exceptions, right?
Right, I'm saying so many.
Yeah, yeah. Let's say, for example, yeah, there are a lot of exceptions though, but sometimes they won't all apply. I know 33 is going on what we just saw. If it extinguished immediately. Footnote 33 says, look, any unforeseen, unexpected situation that arises after she lights candles, and because of it, it extinguished, let's say they fell, something happened, that's fine. She would not need to light another one again. Right? Now, if it's before sunset, someone else in her house could relight them. This is before Shkia. If it's after Shkia, after sunset, if you could flag someone down who isn't Jewish, and she could ask that individual to light the candles, that's what should be done.
And if she can, you live in a totally Jewish neighborhood. Insulated.
If she can't, then she can't. What are you gonna do? It's after
And
sunset.
It's not an only, so she's still fine.
What? If it's not an onis?
No, I'm saying this case is not an onus. If something happened, they know shmashos, right?
What happened? She lit or she didn't light yet?
She did light.
She did light, and what happened?
And then the candles, I don't know, he's given that case. He may not-
Candles what?
The table fell and.
Table fell. She wouldn't need to add the table fell. But if she just didn't light yet, it's the same exact halacha. If you could flag someone who isn't Jewish down before 3 stars come out, you're good in both cases. That's what should be done in both cases. Obviously, the case if she didn't light at all, she has to be a lot more careful to try to get someone to do it. Oh, Shaila comes up actually in Hilchos Nida of if she has to go to the mikveh that night, she lights later exactly what to do. but there's a whole discussion of, and we're going to learn about it over here firsthand. If she gets someone who isn't Jewish to light for her, could she still say a bracha on that? So we'll see. That's the first time lighting. We'll see about that.
It's comparable to like having a guy make six sphere or something like that. or-
Yeah, we're going to see about that. We're going to see about that. Now, you could throw a monkey wrench in all this and say, wait a second, this whole thing doesn't apply anymore. We got good old-fashioned electricity. Thomas Edison, I think he was Jewish. You don't know? I just
I don't
found
think
out this week the person who invented the cell phone, Jewish. Last
Yeah?
name is Cooper. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I looked it up. I heard.
I
heard-
want to verify.
What'd you say?
I'm going to verify. I don't think Edison was Jewish. I don't think.
No, he's not. He's not Jewish.
I never heard.
Yeah. Upon him, you think the cell phone, People
Yeah,
they
that's-
live off of their phone.
Edison. Oh, what was his name? Tommy Edison.
Yeah. Look, nowadays that we
I
have
don't think Thomas
electricity,
Edison was Jewish.
it could be that none of this applies anymore. None of this. Because you don't really need the lights anymore. You don't need to worry about it's going to be dark, you can't see, and you're going to slip. However, the fine still applies, by the way. It still applies if it wasn't lit properly. Right. Look, it says over here in the next paragraph. We haven't seen a lot of length on this topic until now. Not in the Torah, Shulchan Aruch, commentaries, Mishnah Berurah. You know why? Because there's so many situations and exceptions, which nowadays the post can talk about. It's more in recent Sfarim that are brought down. A lot of times you don't know. Was it just because she was lazy? She forgot? Was it extenuating circumstance? Not. So a lot of times you could be lenient over here. We're gonna see there's gonna be a bear halacha if she lit, but not the amount of candles that she's supposed to light. Oh, I didn't highlight any of this yet. Oh, whoops. Yeah. How much longer is this thing? Wow. Okay. So you see Sif Aleph lot. That's why I was thinking we have to get a review just on Sif Aleph. Because it's already a lot. Okay, so this is what it's saying. Look, they don't have a lot of length about this topic over here. You could look on footnote 34. Oh, he says it would apply all the Svarim I talk about even nowadays. It would apply even nowadays that we have electricity. However, if she used lights because she didn't have candles or oil to light Shabbos candles with, if she used the lights with explicit intent that it will count, and it was kosher type of bulbs. I think we said, what did we say when we learned to help us Abdallah? It had to be incandescent, right?
Can't be fluorescent.
It can't be fluorescent. LED would be a problem. So if she's using an incandescent bulb, which you could look into, I think legally they don't even make them anymore because they're so inefficient or something. But you could look into that. That might be false. They're certainly less common than the LEDs now all over the place. You go into Lowe's, you go anywhere,
Oh,
right there. It's all LED now. Energy efficient and all that, and brighter, smaller, and if she lit an incandescent bulb with explicit intention that it should count as Shabbos, even if she didn't make the bracha, you could be lenient. That would still count. All right. Here's a long footnote over here. In footnote 35, it's a little overwhelming. The size of this. Yeah, he's talking about over here lighting already later. Here it is. We saw this already, this idea quoted. If a man forgot to light. We already saw about this yesterday. Really, the fine is only on women. from the Pri Megadim, it's clear that way because Chava caused Adam to sin. So that's why the lighting comes to fix that. That doesn't apply for men. If a person doesn't light consistently, he definitely isn't fined. So this is an important point. Let's say this is a wild situation over here. You have a newly married couple. It's the first time she's lighting. And for some odd reason, she didn't light. She forgot to light. Do you imagine? First time you messed up. It's actually not as common as you think because usually the first times are always the hardest and everything.
Not as uncommon, right?
Yeah, not as uncommon as you think. Yeah. Yeah, whatever it is. Could be that this fine doesn't kick in. Maybe this fine only kicks in once she already started lighting, which is interesting. Whole discussion. I mean, we already touched upon this. If this applies on Yontif, if she forgot as well. Shouts to was Kinyan Torah, so she's not fined because she could light later, and it's milsa de lo ishkicha hi lishkayach. It's really an uncommon occurrence for her to forget. But let's say she did forget. Let's say she realized only the next morning. So some say that there is no difference. I mean, the way when we learned the Dirshu yesterday, apparently I said years ago, I looked it up. They said that, excuse me, that this doesn't apply Yontif. But apparently it's not so simple. Others say there's no difference. And he quotes over here all the people who talk about this. And over here he says if you light during the day, the next day on Yontif, that doesn't help. Seems like there's a night mitzvah. We're gonna have to see if we could. We're gonna get to exactly the earliest time you could light and the timing and everything. That's obviously not this if. This could even apply on the second day of Yontif. However, we have a leniency on the second day of Yontif, which is very common to forget. Meaning out of times that a woman might forget. For the Az Nidberu, says you could be lenient. You know, second day Yontif is always tricky because you can't start preparing until after. Preparing, you just get caught up, kids, bedtime. It's so easy to mess up, so to say. This is a very interesting leniency. If a person forgot to light, a woman, I shouldn't say a person, on Yom Kippur, there's no fine over there. When Yom Kippur falls out during the week, that is. Apparently, some say you don't even need to light candles at all to see them. I mean, learn some tough should, but let's say, Ari, Mr. Shevet Alevi, let's say you have a situation in which she did forget to light on Yontif. Let's say first day, according to those who hold that she needs to add another candle. Does she need to add another candle also for Shabbos? Or only for Yontif? Similarly, if she forgot on Shabbos, does she need to add extra candles for Yontif as well? It's a Shaila. Seems like from the Rivavois of Ephraim and the Shailas and Chuvas Chelik Alsam Kupei Dalid, there's no difference. You have to light another one for each one. All right. We already learned that yesterday. If she's by her mother's house, in-laws, and they lit, she forgot. She doesn't need to. If you have a individual who started lighting in, let's say she was lighting in her mother's house before she was married and she forgot, she's not fined. This is a married only club that this fine applies to. Okay, that footnote was very smooth and easy, I must say. You have to figure out, was she just lazy or did she forget? Was it extenuating circumstance? In which case she would be exempt from lighting another candle. Let's say she thought she was going to take a quick cat nap, but she was exhausted. She slept through the whole night. That could be considered onus. That could be considered extenuating circumstance. She wouldn't need to light another candle if she appointed someone to wake her up. Or an alarm clock and it just didn't work. You have to assess the scenario because it could very well just be considered a laziness, in which case she would need to light another one. Any doubt, you could be lenient. Was there like the Be'er Halacha says, let's say she lit, but not the amount that she usually lights. You have the Maharil, the Mata Moshe, how they learn the Aliyah Rabbah. She just needs to add more oil or bigger candle if she lit. Really, the Aliyah Rabbah we saw that was talking about if someone was poor. But, okay. Little misleading how the Aliyah Rabbah is being quoted, if you ask me. The Darchei Moshe calls it a chumros rechoikus. We saw that in the Darchei Moshe. It's a good point. Far-fetched stringencies, but that was also referring to vidui, that she needs to confess and other things. But even though the Darchei Moshe said that in his Ramah on the Shulchan Aruch, he rules this way. He doesn't call it a far-fetched stringency. Anyways, so the Be'er Halacha, if she lit but not the right amount, could be that it's fine also. Again, but you should, try to do something. Add a little bit more oil, bigger candle, especially if she's poor. Do something. There's a tshuva process. At least the next week, add another one. So, this is basically a whole laundry list of exceptions. So it comes down to leniencies. Why she doesn't need to do this. It's very difficult to add another candle. She could maybe do one of the things that we just quoted above. So, any questions, comments on this? Pretty straightforward, just a lot of exceptions. Okay.